My name is Niamh McCarthy. I'm 13 years old and I'm from a town called Askeaton in County Limerick. Me and a few of my friends decided to talk to some locals about our town and what it's like to grow up and live here. We started with a visit to Desmond Tower, which is an ancient castle located in the heart of Askeaton.
Well, we're standing in a very old building here. We can date this area probably back to about the 5th century, but the castle or the tower right here behind me actually dates from the 15th century. So we know that people lived in Askeaton for a long, long time. We're up on a height here, and when we look around we can see that actually Askeaton must have been a very prosperous town at some point, because lots of the houses are 3-storey, and when we see that we know there must have been a lot of trade. So long ago this would have been a very important strategic location. Nowadays it's got a lot quieter, but maybe with the castle being open again people will realise the great history they've had and maybe regenerate some of that prosperity.
Then we talked to a local man called Seanie Barron.
In the old days, we used to always look forward to the pictures. And the pictures, they used to come with horse and car and an old tractor, a big tractor come in here. And we were in this size and we were waiting for the pictures to come in. And over the bridge, up here from Crinniú and over the bridge and things like that. And they used to park right over there. And we were waiting. And we used to go down here then. The old guys with the boats, we used to come up to Kindy's pub and they used to come down with big bottles of porter. And when you were half jarred, they used to throw away the bottles. And the old woman above in the shop, she used to say, I'll give you a penny for every bottle you collect. So we used to come down foraging around here and collect the bottles. And we had bottles then and we'd sell them for half a penny. And we'd have 2 bottles for another half a penny again, so that's a penny. And you could go to the pictures then in the weekend if it was enough for half a pennies. Do you know what I mean? So that's how you survived, and that's how we look forward to the pictures coming to Askeaton, which was grand. School was a little bit difficult because you never seem to want your hair long. My hair is a bit long now, but we never want to see your hair long at that time. Because the schoolmasters, they used to kind of half lose their head and things like that. And the first thing they do was catch you by the fringe here and pull you over to the desk. So you'd always have a short haircut, the way he wouldn't catch you, but he'd catch you by the jaws and things like that. School was very hard these days, you know what I mean? Like, it was like you get beat, slapped in the hands, and you get across the face, and you'd sit up and you'd sit down. So you wouldn't want to learn that much. And you'd only learn basic, what you'd want, and just learn how to read and learn how to write and physical, because you know very well where you're going to go, because you wouldn't go to big jobs. It was only all little farmers' jobs that time, so you had to go and work out in the farm. You know, there was no good jobs around.
I also talked to my grandfather, Mike McCarthy, who has lived here all his life.
When I was young and from a big family, we were born just on the bank of the river here, in a thatched house. There was 11 of us there. But at home there was no such thing as pocket money. You had to go out and raise your own pocket money. So that gave us a lot of different things to do when we were young. And as Seanie has tipped on, across the river on my right was a tip head, where all the waste from the area used to be put in, and we'd collect the bottles and sell them to the pubs. There's a 3-storey house up there where I used to spend my Saturdays washing the car, cleaning out the garage, drawing firewood into the house, and that was my pocket money every Friday or every Saturday. And then, as Seanie tipped on the store, there was a shop on the main street, Mulcair's. They used to sell all the bran, the flour and all. And my job every Friday evening or Saturday morning was get a handcart and bring up the bags of corn, flour, the whole lot to the shop, and I'd get 3 pence, that's 1 penny today, 3 pence a bag to bring it to the shop on a handcart. I used to love the summers. I used to take off my shirt in late May, and I'd say I'd put on a shirt until September, going back to school, because it was so fine. I used to always get a good fine tan, but I used to always get sunburned first. and my mother would put the oil on it. But I loved the summers here because we used to go and looking at the end of the summers, we used to go to a place called Ballylin picking hazelnuts in September. That was a treat. And then we'd go to Fines, to the regattas in August. And again, the train was passing here that time. There could be as many as 400 getting on the train, going on to Fines. So we had great days when we were young that way.
We had a chat with Willie Harty.
I lived here all my life, basically up till the 80s when I moved to England, and I worked in England all through the 80s. I moved back here around 1992, back home, and it was always in my heart to come back to Askeaton because, you know, I love this town, I love the people in it, I have great friends there, like, you know, so basically that's why I moved back here, you know. I remember, I'd say it would have been 85, 86. It was St. Patrick's Day over, and I was feeling really homesick. And that night we went to the Audrey Club, which was an Irish club in Manchester, and Big Tom and the Mainliners were playing there. So it brought it right home to me, because I used to see him playing in the Olympic in Newcastle West. So for that hour and 3/4, I was home. Yeah, if you can understand where I'm coming from, I was at home. Even where we are standing now, this is called Max Quay, and at that time it wasn't a park like it is. There was a slant going down into the river. So a group of us would be nearly down here every day. We'd be watching the salmon. That time there was awful runs of fish going up. We'd be watching the salmon at the weir here, trying to grab them, you know, to take them. Or we'd be there and we'd get eels. You'd get lovely silver eels that would be under the rocks when the tide would go out. So we'd be catching them as well, like, you know what I mean? It was all natural, like, you know what I mean? Everything we were doing was in rhythm with nature, if you want, you know. And right there, where at the back there, from the pool, that was the local dump tip. So I spent a lot of my time down there as a small child, rooting this and rooting that. And I remember one time finding 2 old pounds. I mean, this was about 71. I found 2 old pounds. Near the shop up there, Michael Collins' drapery shop, he used to sell clothes and all that. And I remember going up buying a new pair of boots, new pants, and a new jacket. And I still had, I forget now what it was left, but I still had enough money for sweets for a week afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, things have changed, you know, from that aspect, you know.
Then we met with Qiaomin, who moved here from China.
When I was in China, it's very, very busy. Start from the daytime to the middle of the night, you know. We have 24 hours shop. It's 4 million in the city, and Askeaton is totally changed, you know, very, very quiet. And it's only like 1,500 people in the town. So it's big difference. If you want it, you can make time, a lot of time for your kids. And the school here, I say, is brilliant for the kids, you know, no homework. Maybe only 10 minutes homework every day, that's it. So I think it's great.
So that was a little glimpse of life in Askeaton from different generations and perspectives.